Hey, everybody, this is Mike Feldbauer from the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation speaking to you from the Flagler Voice podcast studio. Today, we have a very special guest, or as I've been telling everybody, all our guests are special, but we do have a special guest with us, and we will be back with you in just a moment. Well, we're back with you, and today I'd like to introduce our guest for the day. Is Tom Lopez.
Lopez, yes.
Lopez, okay, who is with SMA, and I'll let him tell you what the acronym is when we get there. Tom, we've known probably a couple years now.
Couple
years, because Tom and his organization help at our drug court program here in town. They provide some facilities for special treatment provisions, and I'm going to let him talk about that. And Tom has just shown a real great, not only because it's his job, but he's told a personal interest in seeing people succeed in recovery. So Tom, tell us a little about your story.
Oh, I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so much. So I do work with SMA Healthcare. The acronym itself, Florida loves acronyms for some reason.
Yes.
But Stewart-Marchman Act is the acronym. And I believe it was somewhere in 2018, we went from Stewart-Marchman Act to SMA Healthcare, just because of some other services we provided, primary care. So they just changed the name. Plus, it was easier to say. So I've been with SMA for about 10 years now. I actually started with residential.
Okay.
And about 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to come up to Flagler. My boss came and he says, "Hey, I have an opportunity if you want it." I'm like, "Okay, well, let me see." It's a 7-minute drive compared to a 45-minute ride. Yes, I'm there. So yeah, Palm Coast is my home. So my wife and I lived here over 20 years. We bought a home in 2002, raised our 3 children here, pretty much. And so my wife is a nurse. She works with Advent. But we love it. We love the community. When we first moved here, I think there was like maybe 20 traffic lights. Now there's like 20,000 traffic lights. It's changed over the years, but even SMA footprint has changed in Flagler County. So we're kind of hoping that kind of grows a little bit more.
Yeah, well, that SMA, to me, my involvement with SMA through the drug court, because I am a volunteer member of the Flagler County Drug Court, and we use several of your inpatient facilities for some of our participants that need a little bit more specialized, focused treatment before they come back into our normal part of our program.
Yes.
And my first involvement with SMA was down at your men's facility down in DeLand. And myself and one of the other gentlemen that was working with me, we used to go down there on a fairly regular basis. We talked to the guys, just in general. This is one of the other gentlemen that was with us. We'd bring down a Bible study. We did other things down there with them. And to see what was happening and the help that was being provided for those men that we were dealing with back then was incredible. And now we use here, obviously in Flagler County, Project Warm for the ladies, particularly the ladies with children, has been a great help to the Flagler County Drug Court. And what we see of those participants that come out of those programs, more often than not, is a greater success than we see from other places. So we're really happy to have SMA, and I understand that in the near future, we're going to have even more facilities, and we might even actually have a men's facility here in Flagler County going a couple years down the road. As you tell us about that project.
Yeah, that is exciting. So Governor DeSantis did approve a $10 million award to the Flagler County. And part of that, well, not part of it, the whole $10 million is to build a facility, an ISU unit here in Flagler County. It would actually be located across the street from Warren, so it's going to be right there. And the ISU is going to house CSU. It's going to house detox, and it's also going to have the men's residential treatment. Long awaited. Everybody's been asking, and here it comes. So we're really, really excited about it. They are in the planning phases now, and I believe 2025, February, March, they should start construction, hopefully. And then 9 to 12 months from there, we'll have a facility.
Okay. Now, remember you said Florida is very or
Like acronym, happy.
acronyms. So you use several acronyms there. So let's go back and say, what were those acronyms you used?
Okay. All right. Let's start with the ISU. So ISU stands for Integrated Stabilization Unit. CSU is our Crisis Stabilization Unit. So we will be able to intake people who are under the Baker Act, are having that mental health crisis. The detox is detox. Individuals will come in under circumstances that they need detox and use our facility. And MRT stands for Men's Residential Treatment. So I am really extremely happy. I don't know if we're going to change the name because we have an MRT in DeLand, which DMRT stands for DeLand's Men's Residential Treatment. So I don't know if we're going to add that here or not, but looking forward to having the facility and the services for the men because it's needed.
It really is. And I'm glad you explained that acronym because I know DMRT, I've been using that for a long, long time. And I know it's a men's facility, but I didn't know what it all meant. So now you cleared that up. And to have it here, having one here in Flagler is so important because, the Seventh Circuit, which deals with most of the areas that you deal with in this general area here, between Volusia, Flagler, St. John's, we need more facilities. And we need more inpatient treatment that's more local, that we can have a more direct relationship with, like we do at Project Warm and we do at DMRT. So having it come here we're real excited about it. And even more so, the detox facility.
Yeah.
Because right now, we go to Volusia or we can go to St. John's, and they're usually full.
Yeah.
So if somebody in Flagler County needs detox, it's very difficult to get that provided for them.
It is.
And so hopefully when we're here, we concentrate that particular part of what you're doing to Flagler County resident needs, even though the residentials are for everybody. Okay. But it does make a big difference for us.
It does. And, again, it's for me, it's a little personal, maybe a little more personal, because I live here.
Yep.
And this is my home, and it's been my home for over 20 years. You and I, we spoke recently. And so, and I get a little emotional, so you got to forgive me a little bit. So,
no, not at all.
Yeah. Like I said, my wife and I, we raise our children here. We have 3. Joshua, Jacob, and Jocelyn. They're gonna kill me for saying their name, but Joshua's our oldest. He's 35. Jacob is 32. God, I'm this old. Yes, I'm that old. My daughter, who's the baby, is 21, and we have some grandkids. We got 4. 2 belong to Jacob and 2 belong to Joshua, my oldest. And so with Joshua, I bring him up for a reason because he suffers from addiction, and so. Again, for us, it's a little personal. My background is law enforcement. I worked in corrections and law enforcement for over 20 years. And so I'm almost ashamed to say I didn't recognize the signs. I didn't recognize the cues. Or, to be honest, I think there's a part of me that was not only in denial, but ashamed. And, I'm ashamed to say this to everybody, but it's just one of those things that as a parent, it's almost taboo. You don't want to talk about it. My son has an addiction problem. It sounds so dirty back then. I was uneducated. I wasn't aware, and if you guys are listening, if you're parents, let me know if you went through the same thing, because I would like to know that I'm not alone in feeling that way. But, it's something my wife and I went through. And we also went through the blame game, right? We pointed fingers at each other. This is the way you raised them. No, it's the way you did it. And so, and thank God we made it through that. My wife and I, she's just a beautiful person. but you have those doubts, those questions, and so maybe my passion to help people now is geared towards my son, who I can't help because he moved. He actually got away from my wife, and I moved to Texas, so we could not interfere in his life. And so it's hard.
It is hard, and it's not an uncommon story.
Yeah.
And part of what we hope to do, these broadcasts and things that the Drug Court Foundation has expanded into, is community education,
Mm-hmm.
not just helping the participants in the program, is getting the word out to people that substance abuse is not a Hollywood movie.
Mm.
Okay? It's not just the back alleys in New York, Chicago, LA, any of that. It has more in depth. It's in every neighborhood, in every community. And most of the people that are suffering from substance abuse is because of something else that happened in their life.
Yeah.
Some pain that maybe they didn't even recognize, and they couldn't find a way of covering it up. So a friend said, hey, try this or try that. And no one that I've ever met, and I say this at every interview that we do here, in the 12 years that I've been doing this, has said, got into it and say, I want to become addicted to it.
Right.
That's just not the way it happens, but it happens. So if we can get the communities and parents to understand that when they're seeing this stuff in their kids, I heard a preacher once preach on it to his congregation, who said, when your kids are in substance abuse addiction and they're stealing from you and then this and that, that's not your kid doing it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Get to understand. We can't be enablers. We can't help them to the point where we're not helping them, which is very difficult for a parent.
Yeah.
Because we love our kids and we're going to do whatever we can possibly do. But there's at a point where we have to learn that there's a stopping point. And that's a help, even though you consider not helping, but sometimes not helping is actually helping.
Yeah.
And get to that point. Parents, if you're in the area and you're going through some of this stuff and you need some assistance, the AA has Al-Anon, which is for family members that are going through this. There's a support group to help you understand. We have a Nar-Anon group, which is developed here. One of our people that helped us with the Drug Court Foundation founded it here in Flagler County. There's other institutions, there are other groups that can help parents get through this and have a better understanding.
Yeah.
And those of you out there that don't have any direct happening now in your life, get an understanding, because you will come to a point where there might be a point where you can offer hope. And that's what we offer, hope. So all parents, if you're suffering from this, as Tom and his wife did, there is hope. We don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
But if we give up, it makes it easier for them to give up.
Yeah.
So we can't give up. We got to always have hope that sometime something is going to happen. It's going to make that reverse itself.
My wife and I say that. We say as long as Josh is alive, there's hope. There's a chance that we can get him to come back home and get the help that he needs. Yeah. That's what we're hoping. But if I could speak to some of your audience members, especially the parents, I have done this in the past, and I'm always willing to do it. So I'm a director for the Access Center. I don't think I'd said that. And so the Access Center is kind of the beginning where somebody would go to seek help. You'll get your screening there and everything else for services. That's where my office is located. I have held the hand of a mom or dad and walked them through the process of how to file an ex parte order if that's what they have to do. I am willing to do that. I did just this morning. Mom's texting me about her son, and again, I think I'm so passionate because I can't do it for my own son. I wish I could, and so hey, let me help somebody that that I can, and so I'm willing to do that. So if they want to contact me, just let me know. I'm here. Even with drug court, I mean, you've done so much, and it's hard for me sometimes to sit there in drug court graduation because I wish that was my son up there. I'm like, here they are, they're graduating, where's my son? But, it's just this collaborative effort that everybody in this area is really coming together to provide some of these services and need it.
Tell the people how to get a hold of you.
Okay, perfect. So they can contact me via my office number, which is 386-254-1195, or you can email me, and my email is T Lopez, Lopez, at smahealthcare.org.
Excellent, because that's part of what we need to get out to the world.
Yeah.
And we need to get out to the people in Flagler County that there is some help out there. We need more.
Yes.
There's no question about it. When you get this new facility, that will fill in some of the blanks that are there. But between now and then, if they're putting the shovel in the ground in 2025 in March, it'll still be a year or two down the road before it's ready to open and get in there. So we need help now.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you feel that there's something that you want to do to help, please contact us at the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation. If you can help us help them, well, that'll be good. If it's something that we can direct you to another location, another group that might be helping out, that is not, we're not about us, and I know you're not about just you.
Yeah.
We're about the problem and trying to be part of the solution. And that, I tell people, for us at the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation, we're not trying to get our name at the top of the letterhead. And some people tell me, well, you're wrong. You need to get more out there. You need to tell more people what you're doing so you'll get more help. So we're trying to do that, but it's not about patting ourselves on the back for what we do, because we certainly couldn't do it all.
Yep.
We can do a portion of it, and we want to do that portion in a great manner, and I think we're pretty good at it. Not perfect, but we're pretty good at it. The same as any organization. So it just be part of the solution, and I'm sure that you feel the same way.
I do, actually. So every Thursday, not every Thursday, that's a lie, but a lot, we have Marchman Court, and so I am there. Judge Perkins, the great Judge Perkins, used to run the Marchman Court. I have a funny story about him too.
Well, good. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
We need a little laugh here and there, but that's okay.
But in Marchman Court, I would always ask the individual, where do you want to go for help? It doesn't have to be SMA. We just want help for you. And I have directed individuals to other providers. It's not about how or who gives them the help, as long as they get it. And I will always do that. Even today, if someone contacts me, well, we're not really comfortable with SMA, that's fine. Just let me help you find somebody and get you into services. But if you want to hear that funny story about Judge Perkins,
I'd love to hear that.
Oh, okay. So I can't say names because of HIPAA, but when I first came here, I started doing Marchman Court. Nobody trained me, and they just threw me in there. And so here I am in front of Judge Perkins, who can be intimidating. He can be very, very intimidating. So we had a person who was under the Marchman Act, and they needed a psych eval. So he ordered it, and he made sure he said it 5 times. When this person is done, they are to be returned to the jail. So 2 days later, we're back at court, and that person never made it back to the jail. They were let go. And so I was the only one representing SMA. So Judge Perkins looked at me and just started yelling at me. And I'm like, I didn't even know the person left. So the whole time I'm thinking the deputies are going to come get me any minute now. Judge Perkins he was pretty livid. And so all of a sudden 2 deputies walk into our office, and I'm like, oh my God, they're here for me. They were just actually coming to take a tour of the facility that had nothing to do with Judge Perkins. But talk about a holy cow moment. That was it for me. But since then, Judge Perkins and I, we've hit it off. There was a mutual understanding, and I was in my spot, my place. But great judge. I love him to death. Kind of miss him a little bit. I'm sure everybody does. But I'm sure he's enjoying retirement. I know he remembers that story.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have Judge Perkins on here after the holidays, so I'll maybe try to remind him of that story when he comes on board. Yeah, he's enjoying his retirement, doing a lot of flying.
Good.
It was one of the commonalities that he and I have. I'm a pilot also, so we talk
Oh,
a lot about flying and stuff. But yeah, he was a very good judge, did a very good job for us here in Flagler County, and he was the fourth judge I actually sat under. I'm now
wow.
sitting under the fifth
Judge
judge,
Nichols. Yeah.
Judge Nichols, and so it's been a while. We had Judge Walsh, who was the first judge I sat under. We already did an interview with him, and he's been retired now for several years. But it was another great person, and all the judges. Okay, they're felony court judges. Okay, that's their experience. You do the crime, you do the time. So when they first come in, it's a change for them because our court, drug court, is a court that's designed to help.
Yeah.
It's designed to keep them out of jail, out of prison, and it takes a while. We're blessed now with Judge Nichols coming in because she's had previous drug court experience, so we don't have to go through that part. We don't have to train her.
And she
Okay.
spoke highly of drug court during graduation.
Yes.
So she is very impressed with what's going on there in drug court.
Yep. I think she's done a. Alan keeps hitting me because I'm not hitting the right buttons for the cameras and stuff, but we'll go from there. But so, as you see what's been happening, you've been involved with SMA in Flagler County now for how long?
So I've been with SMA for, well, actually almost 12 years. In the last 3 years, I've been here in Flagler.
Okay. Have you seen much of a change in Flagler County in that 3 years?
Yes. Tremendous. You know, I wish I could say more. There's so much going on with partnerships with SMA and other providers. You know, before it was more of a competition, it felt like, where now it's more of a collaborative effort. People are just teaming up to get the job done. I would say the local government, I'm going to give them a shout out if I can,
Sure.
because they've been a big part of this movement. I don't know if I can say her name, Heidi Petito. She's one of the county administrators. She's done awesome advocating for more services in Flagler County. And they're the ones that are pushing it. And so a lot of people don't know that, but they should know that the Flagler County government they're doing their part. They're pushing.
That's tremendous. And I talk about this again on most of the broadcasts. I mean, there's two major county organizations that are directly involved in the world of recovery. One is drug court,
Mm.
and it is, like you said, the reason we have drug court is that the county provides funding for it. So there's their participation, semi-direct, in that portion of it. And then our sheriff's department has done an incredible job of doing that. You know, we now have 2 recovery pods out at the jail, one for male, one for female. We have the SMART program, and I'm not going to get into their acronym because
I always forget it.
yeah, I do too. We had Will, who's the men's director here, a couple of weeks ago doing his stuff, and he had to identify that part. But being able to provide people that have been arrested that aren't in another program, and they're out the jail and they've been arrested for a substance abuse problem of some kind, not violent, not sexual abuse, but it's still a felony issue. And they give them an opportunity to get into their SMART program, which gives them treatment 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You don't find that other places.
No.
All the job training that's out at our local jail, they've done HVAC training, electricians training, car wrap training, food management training, all out there to keep people, Sheriff Stelly says, come into the county, screw around, I'll get you. But we're also going to give you an opportunity not to come back and to change your life. And their program helps us at drug court because some of our people that we have, because finding facilities for that purpose, what button am I supposed to be pushing here? Finding facilities for that inpatient facility is sometimes difficult.
Very.
And the wait list can be extensive.
I have to fight for beds sometimes.
Right. So having some of that available to us through the jail has also helped us out. And and they're
Absolutely.
participating in that because that's part of what they do. So we're really happy to have that relationship with them. Extremely happy to have that relationship with you guys. Things have been doing, I mean, the two main ones, and we use some of your others also, but between Project Warm and DMRT, when we send somebody there, we know pretty much what the results are going to be. And you've made an offer. I don't know if you've been successful at that offer at our next graduation.
Yeah, I haven't put it out there yet, but well, we're hoping. I'm hoping still that we could get the girls from Warm to kind of cater an event for drug court graduation.
Right.
I think it's important for them to give back and see the whole process. So that I think that's. I haven't talked to the powers to be, but I guess this is official now. So it's out there. I'm going to politic for it.
Well, by bringing this up, we force you to bring it
Yeah.
to where you said you were going to bring it to, and
Or fired, one or the other.
and we'll go from there, and we'll see what's going to happen. So again, Tom, I am so grateful to have you with us today. And we'll probably have you come back sometime in the future. We'll discuss what's going on, the progress on the new stuff. So
Sure, I would love to be back, and it was an honor to be here today. So I'm looking forward to Judge Perkins coming in, listening to him.
okay, well, we'll catch up. We'll catch that coming up. So what we're going to at this point, I'm going to break just a little bit, and I'm going to give the audience an opportunity to find out what's going on with Flagler County Drug Court Foundation. We have some events coming up. February 22nd, we have our first pickleball tournament to help raise some funds. And it's going to be out at the Southern Recreational Center. And we're actually doing that with another organization, another nonprofit, the Flagler Coalition for Youth, or Youth Coalition. I think I got it right. They deal with under 18. We're dealing with over 18. They're dealing with trying to get them to not get to us. So we're combining that time to work together to do that fundraiser. And to get the word out to everybody, we have Club 100. Club 100 gives local businesses and individuals, but local businesses is a primary target, to donate $10 a month or $120 a year. If we can get 100 businesses to do that, that'll take care of most of our budget needs, and we can reduce the efforts in our fundraising and spend more time at our fundraisers, because it's not just about money. It's about educating the community. For the people that come to those fundraisers aren't always involved in what we're doing. They're out there trying to help a nonprofit, regardless, or coming out and having fun. But we want to also educate them to what you and I have been talking about today. So everybody, we thank you for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you in the future. This is Mike Feldbauer from the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation, signing off from the Flagler Voice podcast studio. Thank you and have a great day, everybody. Let's just say stop.